a lot of troubles trying to make the team come together. It seemed like they went through position swaps and tried a lot of team comps, but so far and still not yet, it did not work. And let's see if anything has changed within this time period that they had rest and also practiced against MVP Black, the best Korean team after the Eastern Clash.
So I feel like when you look at MVP Miracle, it's been a big disappointment for many fans because in name and in roster, it feels like the skill of the 4 or 5 champions on this team, world champions mind you, would be enough for them to just absolutely dominate the league. That would be up there, if not as good as Tempest, ahead of Tempest even. But they have just really struggled, and the identifying reason usually points towards Honkano and Dami not gelling with the team yet. We're going to see the Zeratul throwdown ban again. Let's see if BlossoM is going to take the... Oh, he's going to save Vala, but they're going to run right into the fall stat immediately as they want to have that global. And interestingly enough, it looks like Miracle is okay allowing the Zarya Vala if they want to play it here on the side of BlossoM.
Maybe not likely.
Well, not with a Falstad, right?
Yeah, Falstad will very likely to go to No Chat, who also plays Zarya, so Zarya might be out of option. Then there goes ETC with Malfurion. Great pair, lots of CCs against Murden and Dehaka. I felt like it's a very good pick, ETC Malfurion, of course, but against Dehaka Murden, maybe Tychus should have been picked early on before the ban phase.
Well, this is a funny position because you don't always see like the triple melee Dehaka Murden into the Zarya with the solo ranged Vala, but Arthas is banned here. BlossoM may look to remove that Vala. The Tychus is still a great choice here for Miracle, following it up, but this is a tough question now for BlossoM. And they're going to take the safer ban here in the Zarya. And now you're technically able to Ariel Vala, but it just doesn't feel as strong with both the Tastar and and Zarya removed. So probably going to lean towards that Tychus route, and we might even see the Tychus Li-Ming pairing that's been so popular in Korea. ETC, you can see with a pretty negative win rate, but that's because of his popularity more than anything else. Obviously, as if every team gets to do it, including the team, if every team picks him, including the teams that are at the bottom, will have a negative win rate because of his high involvement. So it's no surprise he has a negative win rate, especially because teams have gotten better at dealing with his stage dive. We almost never see it anymore.
It is a possibility, but less likely now. And maybe if ADC is picked after the patch with his trait.
They do have Malfurion on their side. That's been one of the big issues against the stage dive, is having the root right at the landing. So Li-Ming, is it going to be Tychus with him? It's going to be Rhaegar first. Tychus likely to be the 5th and final pick here for Miracle.
And they're hiding with that Rhaegar pick. Because BlossoM already picked Malfurion, that was not necessarily needed, but they want to see what others BlossoM would pick and pick their last pick after BlossoM has finished their draft here. And Tychus seems to be the way to go. They need a little bit, they can have a little bit more poke, or they can go into melee, few more warriors, even triple warrior with Falstad, and Malfurion does have the sustain. And Wiz, of course, loves to play on Thrall with strong laning from the beginning of the game. That's also a possibility.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of other potential solo laners here. We could see the Thrall you mentioned, and just another mage type, because I believe this is probably going to be auto attack Falstad. There's the Zebo for AP. Did not expect the Tyrael to come out, although from what we've seen so far, just on day one, seems to be kind of a response to the Li-Ming play. This makes me feel more and more comfortable with the Tychus 5th pick, though, coming in for Miracle, to have 2 types of damage. Zebo will scale well into the late game, has a lot of poking power. They have a ton of CC and the globals. If you have Tychus, the team fight prowess is, especially in the early to mid game, going to go Miracle's way post 10. Other options here, I mean, I really don't feel like the Sergeant Hammer is viable against such an aggressive composition with the ETC and the Zebo.
Because they would likely to dive in and one root may be enough for all that damage, and Sergeant Hammer can get caught in that siege mode.
I mean, Sniper has played quite a lot of Gul'dan, but they are going to bring the hammer out. Okay, feels risky here.
But they do have Morden and Dehaka covering, so maybe they wanted to have a go there. And they do not have too much burst, as Li-Ming does have the burst, but they need to get some picks off for Li-Ming to get those reset trait. So we'll see.
Yep, just want to point out that Crazy Moving is 0-2 on that hammer. We'll see if he can make it a 1-2 victory here. They are the big favorites here against BlossoM, but they have lost to quote-unquote lesser teams in the past, teams that historically they should have beaten. We're going to go into this game number 1 to see who's going to take the lead on Cursed Hollow. See you guys in game. In blue, Team BlossoM. Scarlet on Malfurion, Dudu on Nazebo, Wiz on Tyrael, Judy on ETC, and No Chat on Falstad.
In red, MVP Miracle, Honkana on Muradin, Dami on Dehaka, Sniper on Sergeant Hammer, Crazy Moving on Li-Ming, and the last one, Darvish on Rehgar.
That's right. Reindeer Rehgar. The red-nosed Rehgar. Some spider damage. This is going to be auto attack Falstad. And Toad's coming out here very early for Dudu. They want to bait, it looks like, so the power slide can come in, but as you can see, MVP Miracle is not going to buy into it, going to posture defensively here as we have our setups. In the top lane, we do have the free soak. Now No Chat's going to rotate up. Dami immediately reacts, looking for that hook, but misses it, unfortunately. Still going to be a win for him in trades of minions as we go into this neutral game.
It's been a while. For Tempest and MVP Black, we saw them play during Eastern. But for these teams, we have not seen them play for over a month now. And it'll be exciting to see what they have actually practiced over the past month and so. And Li-Ming gets caught. Crazy Moving does not teleport over the wall, but not enough damage to follow up. Not yet with the Nazebo.
Yep. Don't have that spider fully built out just yet. And what could have been a horrible situation ends up being a fairly okay trade for Miracle here. The early game for BlossoM with the ETC, with the potential roots coming out from Malfurion, and even possible zombie donuts from Nazebo is definitely going to be their strong point. They have the global and the Falstad, so that's kind of even. Falstad versus Dehaka. We're going to see that matchup in the top lane non-stop. But BlossoM nearly getting what they wanted there, punishing the positioning of Crazy Moving. As our next tribute, first tribute, will be spawning fairly soon. I like that Honkana was actually go ahead and aggressively steal the watchtower away before this happens. They look just for a little bit of vision advantage during all this. They're going to take their Siege Giants, hoping for a northern tribute spawn to have that extra pressure away from the solo lane with these Siege Giants.
And meanwhile, Judy did the exact same at the bottom. Did some pressure. Meanwhile, when Miracle was trying to take the camp, but did not really do much.
Okay, where's that tribute spawn? Ah, it's bot. That's going to really nullify the Siege Giant pressure for Miracle, and it's going to work really well for the Siege Giant pressure of BlossoM.
Yep, and let's see which global joins the team fight a little bit more. And right before Dami gets low on about a half HP and actually tries to hearth back, or was that actually a taunt for a second?
Gonna go ahead and hearth back, but off camera here. Ouch, Dudu staying way too long, and they just stay with the Siege Giant pressure, get a kill, knock down the wall, and they're gonna take this anyways. Siege Giant's dealt with in the top lane on top of all of this, and this works out way better for MVP Miracle, even though on paper it might have been the advantage to BlossoM in terms of the Siege Giants they had. With that kill, this got a lot easier. And look at this, free siege up. Moonfire's not going to be enough. Sorry, Scarlet. This is going to probably be a fort. as they just need to clear one more minion wave, and then Crazy Moving just does his combo, and they will take it down. The Siege Giants finally fall. One more wave comes through, but
he's soaking up all the damage, just delaying some time before this fort goes down.
This is obviously just going to be the slowest fort death of all time, but it does eventually go down there in the bot. Dami doing what he can up here in the top lane against the Falstad, trying to bait the rotation. Actually, you can see Honkono looking for that rotation up, is spotted, unfortunately, by Judy. We're going to see that. You can see that mouse on the main map. Nearly clicked on it to show it to us, but by the way, that small matchup there in the mid lane between these two tanks is super important for vision. So if Judy had not realized Honkono was rotating up, perhaps that's actually a kill with that baited situation. The second tribute will spawn towards the bot side again, as level 7 versus level 7 is reached for both teams. The favorable spawn on blue side here for BlossoM. Falstad dies in the top lane somehow, I believe, unless I somehow totally missed that.
And here comes the team fight. Honkono gets rooted for a second, and Judy is the one blocking out some of the damage, but ETC is very low, gets a reset onto ETC. T-Real tries to look for his life, but does not find the exact path to escape from that.
Well, 4 kills to 0 now. This is going to be curse point, as Artosis and I love to jokingly call it, where you're one curse away, or one tribute away from the curse. This fort didn't actually go down earlier, but they'll finally finish it off here, pushing them about 5th of that EXP bar towards the heroics. Now, this is a disastrous situation. Oh my god, even this mid push not being dealt with right now. This is disastrous for BlossoM because they may find themselves with curse against them without heroics. There's no extra objective they could take. Taking a risky boss or starting a risky boss here feels their best bet. Hoping that Miracle doesn't scout, assuming that this is way too risky, saying, okay, there's no way they do this. What if we just hit them with 10 and wipe them? Miracle doesn't realize, though, so this risk pays off. I like this a lot considering the vision control they have right now.
They risked it, but they saw the camp clearing on top, so they continued going. So Dami does spot, but it'll take some time to actually take this boss down for BlossoM. Miracle actually coming all the way. Wiz
is actually getting super low here. He dies to a boss auto. This should not have happened. Dami's still staying on this boss point. He wants to cap it. Dodges that stun with his burrow with no heroics. This is BlossoM essentially giving the boss to Miracle. A risky choice, but to be totally honest with you, G-Clef, I feel like they needed to take a risk like this. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out. And now it's going to be Curse against them. Tribute spawns top. Sniper grabs it. There's going to be Curse plus heroics. And now, because of the failed risk for BlossoM, plus boss. And Scarlet is dead. Things have gone from bad to worse here in this early game on Cursed Hollow.
I actually agree with you. That was a good choice, but they needed to fully commit, even bring in no chat for all the damage. That was it feels like that was way too slow. If with all the commitment, with the risk they took, I feel like they could have took the boss and not become into this massive destruction coming out from MVP Miracle.
Dami was in the bot lane. They had vision of him, but there was no one to deny him coming in like that.
For 6 or 7 seconds that MVP Miracle.
I mean, this is actually potentially game-ending if things go even any worse than they already have here for BlossoM. I'm not going to say they're going to win the game off this curse, but if they get any more kills, they very well may. Or they will just get such an insurmountable lead that nothing matters. The boss is aggroed into the mid cannon wall, which is nice. So that's going to buy them some time. Still living for a long time because Curse is active for 10 more seconds.
And let's see if No Chat flies over for a big gust coming around. But Miracle just hit level 13.
He took Hinterland Blast. He's taken Hinterland Blast. Judy comes in here.
And misses.
Misses completely.
Does not get any reduction on that cooldown. Dami putting that adaptation, and this boss is hitting on that core, as you can see.
Oh man, they're going to win a 4v5 here potentially. Look at that stun attempt from Judy, so aggressive. What a big failure. The core is going down to the boss. This is actually going to potentially be an 8.5 minute game. It looks like here, G-Club. Not even 8.5, maybe 8:15, as MVP Miracle is just going to right click on the core and finish this one off. Things went from bad to worse for BlossoM in this first game. MVP Miracle will take it. The risky boss choice is a tough choice to make. It's a tough call. I feel like they took it with a half measure. Like you said, they could have either committed no chat there. They could have committed some extra